Good morning. My name is Ann Hancock. I'm the Executive Director. Yes, let's have a round of applause. Very smart. Ann Hancock, Executive Director of the Center for Climate Protection, and I'm very happy this day has come. Welcome. So you did it. You cleared your schedules, you made the trip, you cleaned up, and here you are. So what? So why are you here? I expect that it is to learn, to be inspired, and connect with people to help you advance your goals and your purpose. So, what is your purpose? Perhaps yours is like mine. Mine is to help create a positive future for ourselves, our children, and all life. And this leads directly to the purpose of today's symposium. Community Choice, or CCA, puts power in the hands of local communities to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. It is a speed and scale solution, meaning fast and big. It also, could somebody kill that music? Kind of cocktailish. What? Thank you. CCA also fortifies democracy and equity. It builds local economies. It builds a more resilient grid. It provides a platform for innovation, and it creates a model for other communities around the nation. This is all part of the purpose. This is in the DNA of CCA and this movement. Power has a double meaning: power to generate electricity and political power. Now there are more CCAs speaking in one voice through Cal CCA Association. There's more CCA business, vendors, customers, advocates. Our power is growing. CCA marries power with purpose. And the impacts show that CCA is fulfilling its promise. Yearly, 940,000 metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions are avoided. CCA has caused to be built about 1,000 megawatts of new renewable power in California. It supported the creation of 2,800 jobs, and in 2016 alone, it saved customers $33 million. And these numbers are only going to grow. CCAs are also implementing some really pathfinding programs, which you can learn more about today. Lancaster has electric buses, Sonoma has EV incentives, and the morning breakout entitled Programs, Opportunities for Innovation will have more information about these innovative programs. Redwood Coast Energy is installing 2 microgrids, and you can learn more about that in the morning breakout titled Different Business and Governance Models for CCA. MCE Clean Energy is helping its customers fully electrify their homes, and you can learn more about this in the workshop titled Electrify Everything. A critical milestone for CCA was achieved on May 16th this year, which signifies that CCAs are building the institutional strength for more innovative programs to significantly increase our impact. MCE was given a credit rating by Moody. In contrast to the national and world news that can really cast us down, we can be uplifted by what we're making happen in California with CCA. This is not to say that the threats and challenges are behind us, far from it. We're here today to address those threats and challenges by growing stronger, clarifying our purpose, inspiring each other and being inspired, and celebrating. So let's take a look at the written program to get an overview of what's happening today. You have a roster of everyone who's registered. In the back on page 23 shows you where to find the breakout sessions and also the bathrooms. The closest ones are up the stairs and to the left. For today's schedule, we're in here, and then we go to 5 breakouts. You can choose which one you want to go to. And then we're back in here for lunch, our keynote speaker, and also for a little celebration of our emerging CCAs. Then we have more breakout sessions, and then back in here for some really fine plenary sessions, and then on to the reception. Before the reception, we're going to show you a new, short, funny video, and this is the premiere of this video today that we produced. And I'm a little worried that we might have gone too far, so you can let us know. The plenary speaker bios are in the front of your program, and the breakout speaker bios are in the back. Descriptions of the breakouts are on pages 8 through 11. And to make things run smoothly and help us stay on time, we ask that you show up for today's events promptly. I'd like to recognize the mastermind and the overseer of every detail of today's symposium, Barry Vesser. Bravo, Barry. Oh, there you are. And now, to help with our countdown to a great symposium and to welcome us to Sacramento, Steve Fleming. Steve is president and CEO of the River City Bank, which played a critical role in getting MCE off the ground. And you could say that if it weren't for Steve, maybe we wouldn't even be here in this room today. River City Bank gave MCE a loan when no other bank would. Under Steve's leadership, the bank has more than doubled in size from $800 million to $1.8 billion. Steve has 35 years of banking experience and has an undergraduate degree in economics as well as an MBA. Let's hear it for Steve.
Thank you very much, Ann, for that kind introduction. Good morning. Welcome to Sacramento. River City Bank was founded here in Sacramento 45 years ago, and we, of course, are proud of our hometown. But as a Bay Area native myself, and with many friends in the Bay Area, I know that not everybody sees Sacramento the way I do. Typically, when I mention to my friends that there's a lot of good things going on in Sacramento, I get comments back like, yeah, Sacramento's okay. It's pretty close to Lake Tahoe, isn't it? Or it's not that far from the wine country. Or you can get down to San Francisco in an hour and a half. But not a whole lot about Sacramento itself. And then hopefully you all had a chance to see the great movie Lady Bird last year, which of course focused a lot of its attention on Sacramento. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend it. It did poke a lot of fun at Sacramento, but note that in the end, Lady Bird made the decision to return from New York, which wasn't nearly as exciting as Sacramento. She wanted to come back to this great town. All right. Hopefully you've got a little bit of time in your schedule to look around Sacramento. The downtown area is really thriving right now. A lot going on. Of course, we've got the state capitol just across from us. I'm sure none of you have anything to talk about with our legislators, but if you could think of something, it's very close and convenient to get to. Just down the K Street, L Street, about 6 blocks from here, you're going to find the Entertainment and Sports Complex, which is probably the finest in the country, the newest in the country. Of course, the great Sacramento Kings play there. But also a lot of music entertainers. This last weekend we had Maroon 5 and James Taylor. They're not there today, but I would still recommend going down and taking a look at that new center. We've also got a really thriving food and drink scene here in the Midtown area and then down in the R Street corridor. Again, if you have some time, I would recommend that. For those of you that like the arts, the Crocker Art Museum is about a mile walk from here, down by the Sacramento River. So a lot going on, but enough for my Chamber of Commerce speech. What I really wanted to say is how delighted I am to look around this room and see so many folks who have contributed to the growth of the CCA industry over the last eight plus years. It's actually an industry now, which for those of us that were involved from the beginning is just fascinating to see. Those of you who have launched CCAs should be congratulated, as you are true entrepreneurs, and it is not an easy task to launch a new CCA. I get asked periodically how this relatively small community bank based in Sacramento got involved with the CCA industry. And I will tell you that, quite honestly, it was pure serendipity, pure luck. In 2010, early 2010, I got a phone call from a fellow named Peter Lucchetti. Peter's an old friend of mine, and he was doing some consulting work for this company in Marin that was trying to launch a CCA. He started talking to me over the phone about this legislation that was passed in 2002, creating community choice aggregation and how they would be competing against the investor-owned utilities, but using the infrastructure. I had no idea what he was talking about. I think I was probably multitasking at some point along the way, just thinking, you know, this is one of Peter's ideas. But nevertheless, he persisted and was patient with me in explaining it. And so at the end of the conversation, I said, well, let me see if I've got this right. You're asking me to lend money to a company that is in an industry that until about 3 minutes ago I'd never even heard of. There's no track record in this industry. The company's got no operations. There's no company like it that has operations. They've got no equity capital. They've got no liquidity. They're competing against this monolithic investor-owned utility. And by the way, they've been turned down already by all of the national banks, and they've been turned down by all the local banks as well. But Steve, yeah, go ahead and lend money to them. And I thought, okay, do I have this right, Peter? And he said, yeah, if you want to be negative about it, you could look at it that way. I said, okay. He said, but listen, you got to meet their CEO, this Dawn Weiss. She said, if you meet her, Steve, you're going to be very impressed, and you're going to want to do this. So indeed, we met here in Sacramento. That was in early 2010. I think Dawn was accompanied by Kirby and John DeLacy from Pacific Energy Advisors, and we talked about the model. And of course, we're very impressed with Dawn, and make a long story short, decided to move forward. And then here we are, thank you, Ann, 8 years later, hearing that they have an investment grade rating from Moody's Investors Service. So very proud of the pioneering work that's been done by MCE. And I will also add that one of the great things that they did when establishing Marin's clean energy company was the name. It was the Marin Energy Authority. It wasn't MCE at the time. Marin Energy Authority probably wasn't a great name for advertising and marketing, but for a banker, it gave this image of strength and robustness. I mean, authorities never default on their loans. So it was really a very powerful choice of names at that point. But I understand why the name had to be changed afterwards. Before handing the microphone over to our next speaker, I just want to take a moment to congratulate all of the wonderful people who have contributed so much to the development of the CCA industry. It's been inspiring for me and my colleague, Rosa Cuciccia. Rosa is now the head of our new clean energy division at River City Bank. It's been inspiring for us to have a close-up window into the incredible progress that's been made over the past 8 years as the CCA industry provides consumer choice, local control, better pricing, and a greater emphasis on clean, renewable energy. This wouldn't be possible without the passion, savvy, and just plain old hard work of so many people, many of whom are in this room. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.